think community and inclusion means to you?
In that
Take your time.
Glitching is belong to me will be out of going off work, what people work with, or work with disabled people too, and parents and families.
Well, people with disabilities are a part of our community. They're not separate or have less rights or different. They're part of our lives, our families, and that's why it's so important for them to be involved.
Well, to me, community means everything that any of us are part of. So it builds out from our families and it spreads out to our sporting communities, our work communities, our social communities, and our neighbours, the communities in which we live. And inclusion means being a part of it, being the same part of it as are people without disability, and not having any barriers or restrictions to that process.
As a mother in my community, it means everything. You know, we all have our struggles and our anxieties, and if I didn't have support of my community of mothers, of friends, of family, I would feel lonely and isolated and, just like everyone else. So people who are more vulnerable to being isolated need that community especially.
Because the people need to be able to feel comfortable in what they're doing. You know, get out and be able to just go to the shops, that sort of thing, instead of having to have someone with them all the time or asking mum and dad to go with them all the time. And that comfort can come from the support that they find in the community, I think.
Everybody just being people and enjoying each other all together.
It means belonging and fitting in within your community and doing things that you love and having the support of community and family and friends around you.
I just think it's actually feeling as though you are a valuable part and not just people accommodating for you, that you actually feel that people are wanting you in that community and looking out for you.
For me, it's a bit controversial because sometimes I think community inclusion implies that the community has to do all the changing. We're waiting to be included, but really it's a two-way affair, and it's like, how can we help people to take their assets to the community and be embraced by that community rather than feel like we have to, inclusion sometimes implies we're correcting the community. It's not good enough and we're waiting for it to change to fit us in, whereas I think we also have to come forward and be ready, you know, with our assets, with our talents, and to make a claim that we belong there.
Having good friends anywhere and everywhere, and having people who have the skills to pick up the slack. For example, if one of my friends can't walk, well, we can help to carry that person. But we do it as a friend, not as a service provider. We just make space for each other and help out when we can.
It means being in community. It's being a person and everybody belonging. And that means for everything you can get access to buildings, to sporting organisations, anything that you choose to do.
Embracing all ages, all ethnic, all disabilities, abilities, everything.
I think there should be endless possibilities for people with disabilities. I think they should decide and have that open opportunity just to think and dream as big as they want to. That's what I think.
Oh, I think it's just about obtaining the ordinary. And even though it seems extraordinary, I think it should be about, you know, doing the everyday life things that other people without disability, you know, take for granted.
Community inclusion really means everybody being involved in the community, not being segregated at all. That all people, no matter their colour, creed or ability, would be all included in the one community.
What does community inclusion mean to you?
For me, it is
feeling accepted as who I am in my community, and also, sharing liked interests, and getting to know the people who impact my community, and hopefully putting back into my community and making my community a safe, welcoming environment for everyone who comes into my community.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And I'll ask you, what does community inclusion mean to you?
I would think it meant everybody having a place and feeling that they belong to something or somebody, and people that know that they're there.
It means everyone belonging.
It means support, relationships, love, and these conferences. They are just wonderful.
I think it's more about having everyone in our society being treated equally, doing the same things they want to, having the interactions, natural interactions.
It's become more apparent to me that it means everybody, all the people around us, and making sure that all the people around us can be involved and included in the unique ways that they have to offer.
Everyone within the community feeling safe, happy to participate fully in everything that we all want, quality of life and well-being. So
I think it's when people work together and include each other irregardless of their differences and where they come from.
Everyone belongs, basically. There's no preconditions, there's no qualifiers. Everyone belongs, and everyone needs to belong and relate to each other. And as we've heard all the time, it's about the relationships that we all have that nourish us and nurture us in life. And that's the most important thing in life, the most meaningful thing in life. So, community inclusion to me is relationships.
I think it's everybody having the same opportunities. I think that it's a chance to actually be not just in the community, but of the community. I think is the really big thing. They're a bunch of characters, aren't they? Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to be in essence an actual part of the community. Something that if it was missing or wasn't there, that you'd really actually feel it. I think that's what that really means to me.
I never really heard about community inclusion before my daughter was disabled. And looking back on it, I never really heard about people with disabilities being part of the community. I didn't really know people with disabilities, to tell you the truth. But once my daughter has a disability, I have learned that she can be involved like everyone in the community. She can go to school, she can get a job, she can live on her own, just like you and I. Just like my other daughter who doesn't have a disability. So that is what I would consider, is for her to have a normal life like everyone else.
I really believe the way is through valued roles, because most of us are involved in community through the various roles we have. And I think that is the secret to the success of it all.
There also seems to be a great emphasis on relationships coming out of the conference. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and indeed it is. Most of us make our friends and that through our work, through various interests we have in community. And it is through the valued roles that you do begin to make friends, because there are people who usually you have something in common with, you have fun with. People value you for your gifts and your talents. So therefore, one thing leads to another, really. Have a good relationship with somebody, and then that'll lead to something else. The other thing as well, of course, is a lot of our valued roles come through friends and family. I'm sure most of us got our first summer job because a family member helped us to get it and that. So relationships are crucial that way. In the past, we might have taken people away from their family and then tried to fill their day with doing different things. But it's through your family and your friends, in fact, that many of your early roles come, and then you develop them from there.
I think it's to our detriment and our loss
if people with disabilities aren't included. And, you know, it's really personal for me because my little boy has a disability. And so part of the motivation for the way I work and what I do is because I want my community to be able to celebrate him, not just tolerate him.
Social inclusion means you're a citizen of your community. You're a citizen, and the term citizen means that you have inputs, you have a say, you take the community, you receive from the community, you give to the community, you're a part of the community. Social inclusion for me means that if you're not a part of the community, there's a diminishment of that community because you're not there. So, and I think all of us want to feel that if we're not there, there's a hole.
What social inclusion means to me is kind of our name, Common Ground. It is sharing, it's sharing the common ground of the community. So social inclusion is a big word for just being equal and sharing that equality and assisting people that need a little help, because we all need a little help.